Yo, what up?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, still picks up our call. Look at this guy.
Now I'm gonna need you to get your technology together so I can do the actual Zoom shit again.
I mean, we could do that soon, but it's not every day you talk to somebody that was in like the second most viewed English-speaking Netflix show of all time.
Is it really?
I mean, you know,
Yeah.
I try to do what I can. They ain't got shit to do with me though. You know, people love Evan Peters.
Forgive me, Father, if I have sinned, head ass.
Yeah, you motherfuckers need Jesus.
One of us there.
So, if you're watching this right now, on the line, we do have the star of the Netflix show Dama. Not that one, but we got the guy that played the priest who talked to Dama in the motherfucking show. Our fucking friend, the honorary fourth ninja. We got Chris Greene on the line. Chris, how are you, my friend?
My ninjas, what's happening?
Ain't nothing, man. How's success treating you, man?
What?
I wasn't on Netflix, my nigga. I'm just trying to see what you living like.
I still work at the mail department.
Yeah.
Shit. It's same old same, you know what I'm saying? Just chilling, man. No, it's been straight, man. You know, getting some love from that, and it's always appreciated. I mean, honestly, didn't think it was gonna be. I knew it was gonna be a big deal because it's Ryan Murphy, but
Yeah.
I didn't know it was gonna be on that. You know, like to reach the second most streamed. I mean, you gotta look at all the shows that have come through Netflix, man. As far as their shows, not just the ones they're picking up from other networks, but like their shows.
Yeah.
You know, they've had some bangers. I mean, there's very few shows that Netflix has produced that's been trash. You know what I'm saying? So that's a big deal.
Nigga, it's like Squid Game, Bird Box, and you.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, Don, don't even sleep on this last season of Stranger Things, man. That shit blew up. So, you gotta account for that too. So yeah, it's Squid Game for sure. Definitely came in there and did some damage, but we ain't on them numbers, but we getting close.
We getting close. Yeah, that shit.
We getting close.
I like that type of talk from Chris. Now,
yeah, man.
Let's see. Where do I want to begin in this controversy?
First of all, I want to know, before we jump into that, I want to know what the hell you ninjas is doing for who's dressing up as what for Halloween. I know one of y'all gonna try to be the Black Dahmer, so.
Oh nah, we not doing that.
I don't dress up.
Yeah, we not doing nothing that extreme. I'm not dressing up as shit. I might be a mailman. I might just go to work and just
Stay.
go out and be like scary mailman. Other than that, have you been seeing like a lot of Dahmer costumes? Because people have really gravitated to this thing. Like Dahmer hasn't been a thing for years and years on like endless documentaries. But as soon as it comes on Netflix, it just gains another light, and then it takes on another life that no one expected.
Right. I think, man, for me, honestly, I have a different take on it. I don't really rock with the Dahmer costumes only because somebody being a part of the project. And, the narrative is going out that Ryan Murphy and his team didn't reach out to the families on, and that's complete bullshit. The story has come out recently. He didn't say anything, but if you actually look at the resources, Netflix had their production team reach out. Like Ryan Murphy himself didn't. He's a showrunner. He's not going to reach out to people. That's what Netflix has a team for. But the way people are responding with, we're in a different era, man. So the way people are responding with the memes and stuff, like I don't get down with it personally, just because this shit really happened. You know what I mean? So it's like that you gotta, when you're involved in the process, you hear about different stories and see different things than what the general public is seeing. They thinking they're just watching another show, especially younger cats, and they don't realize, this shit really happened. You know what I mean? Like, and it was on that savage shit. But I will say, I'm still a human being. So some of the memes and stuff that I see people doing and videos I'm doing, I'm like, damn, I didn't realize the impact was that much, where they getting super creative, like even down to trying to mimic his voice. You know what I'm saying? Mimic what Evan did with the voice. I'm like, these cats is the internet, man, social media. You can't. Yeah, man, for real. But the costumes, I mean, actually, some stores have said, for what I saw, somebody sent me a link. Somebody sent me something in on my Twitter messages. that there's a store in the Madison area, Milwaukee, Wisconsin area, obviously, where, all the stuff, went down, Midwest, that they're not selling like everywhere else is selling the Dahmer, the glasses and all that, but they straight up said all the Halloween stores are not selling any Dahmer costumes because, they don't want that going on. So it's definitely a thing, man. I'm pretty sure you'll see quite a bit of it.
Okay. Now, did anyone on set expect this type of reaction to the series? Because obviously when you're doing like table reads or you're auditioning for it, like, oh, this is just, work. They're telling a story like any other documentary. It shouldn't get the vitriol that it got in, social media, in the press and things like that. Was there any inkling of that going about set?
Honestly, nah, man. Everybody was, and this, may seem like the cliche answer, but it's real shit. Everybody was on that. Even when I did my fitting, the mood was, don't take this lightly, because we don't want to disrespect the dead. These people that died under this dude's, hypnosis, if you will, because that's the thing about people. That's the thing about characters when you're doing characters. And I liked Evan's approach to it is, you can put it on white privilege for sure, 100%. But what people don't realize about Domino, even when you watch the documentaries of him in the court and stuff, like his demeanor was very hypnotic. And I'm not charismatic. There's a difference. The Rock is fucking charismatic. You know what I'm saying? Hypnotic is just like, it's kind of, like people say when you see a car accident, like everybody got a rubberneck and look and see, oh man, it's like, it's a horrific thing, but everybody stops and looks. That's what I think about with Dahmer's. Like it was something about him the way you just had to stop and look at this dude like, yo, I gotta figure this dude out. Is he like something wrong with him? Is he stupid? Is he, what's going on with this dude? Like he's off. You could tell he's off, but you don't, you don't know what it is, and I think the series did a good job, explaining that shit, man. Was there was something wrong with him from the beginning, and everybody just ignored it because it's, little white kid. He just gets bullied or whatever. Then when he became an adult, it was, he's white. He can't possibly do all that. He's not a bad guy. So it was just his whole life being overlooked. So I don't think anybody thought it was going to get this big. I think the first indication was, for me, that it was going to have a following was the combination of Ryan Murphy and Evan Peters, because I didn't realize how big his fan base was from American Horror Story, because I don't really watch it like that. So I didn't realize his fan base was that big. I mean, I knew he had the comic book fan base from Quicksilver and Marvel, but I'm like, this is a whole different bag. Ain't nobody watching Marvel gonna watch Dahmer. This is a totally different thing. But that just goes to show the power of Ryan Murphy. I mean, he hit him twice. He hit him with that. Then The Watcher came out, became top watch thing, and then then he had the movie. He had the movie drop, The Phone. I think I forgot the name of it, but so he went from TV to movie to TV again, and just been holding down a top spot on Netflix for like the past 2.5 months. Shit. So dude is just but you talking about a guy who did American Horror Story and what's the other shit he did? Was it
House of Gucci?
Was it Glee?
Oh, Glee. I think Glee. I think it was. Yeah.
Glee. Yeah, but that's what I mean. That's. Come on, man, that's diversity. You going from, high school shit to, the super dark to, this kind of horror anthology stuff. I mean, Ryan he's, I don't want to talk too shitty about him because he likes working with actors and it's not bad, but I think something might be going on with him. You know what I'm saying? He like he playing with a lot of dark shit. So.
Okay. Now, is there anything that you learned on set that you didn't previously know about Dahmer that I guess surprised you or took you aback?
The story, I didn't know that he was in the military. That I didn't know. I mean, I think I've seen the documentary, but I didn't realize that he actually, went in and was there for a minute, understanding that aspect. I was like, oh shit, damn, he did the military thing. Okay. Because, from the stuff when we was coming up and hearing about the story, I mean, obviously, we were East Coast, so we saw it on the news, but not to the extent that everybody else saw it because, it wasn't touching shit over on the East Coast. So, but to hear his story or talk to the writers and hear his story in depth, it was like, oh, I mean, this cat, for the most part, and to me, I think that played into why he was able to pass. When the police obviously pulling up records and could see, oh, you served, you kind of getting a pass, and in my opinion, and I'm like, damn, that's kind of crazy how, that can happen. But the other thing I think I learned is, again, even watching footage on him, I wasn't playing him, just watching footage on how, like, okay, how would I interact with this guy? He, the way people would talk about, how he finessed. Like I said, he was hypnotic. So these people going around and it's just a random white dude in a bar trying to buy you a drink. I don't give a damn if you gay or straight or what. You know what I'm saying? Even back then, they were more carefree. But even back then, it's kind of like cats was on their P's and Q's about, nah, I ain't taking no drink from just anybody. So you had to be somebody, of some sort of, appeal to get people to just, I got you, buy some drinks, we're gonna drink, and then come back to my place and take some photos, and it's just like, it's bugged that he could kind of do that. But most of the other stuff, obviously, the documentaries or the news clippings or whatever, like, you can come across that. And people got to realize too, what you guys know, I'm it's not necessarily for you, it's for, the people who be listening and tuned in. This whole thing that I'm seeing online about, we're sick of seeing these type of trauma and blah, 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 blah. Listen, for everybody out there, it's not going to be what you think it's going to be. Like, they don't get approval from every single person. Once they get the rights to do any type of biopic or anything like that, they're going to embellish. I don't give a shit who it is. I don't care what it is. They're going to embellish. Shit, they did it with Jesus. Passion of Christ. If you actually go frame by frame, that shit is probably not exactly to the letter how whatever version of the Bible he wanted to use. That's a big point right there. Big facts. You know what I'm saying? Big facts. So it's like, come on, man. You're going to embellish, because either way, nobody will watch that shit. It's people are like, in school, and we had to read books and do reports, and motherfuckers was bored with that shit. Instead, what we do, we cheated. We watched the damn movie and go, okay, I'm going to do my report on this because I can just watch the movie and not read the book. That's exactly what you're doing as an adult. Nobody want to sit there and read news articles about this shit. That's why you go to the movies. So it's going to be embellished a little bit. I don't care if it's TV show. I don't care if it's movies. But at the end of the day, if you want realism, even though this shit's fake too, if you want that much realism, watch the fucking news.
Right. Now,
they got plenty of murder and death on there.
Right. Now, when this thing was like the top headline, I guess Kanye kind of knocked that out the news cycle or whatever. So when this was like the top headline on everything, it seems like you took offense on Twitter. I was seeing a lot of back and forth with you, with I guess, like, with people that were condemning the documentary or like biopic, where they were praising it for what it was. Now, did you take offense because it was, because you were in it? Did you take offense to the thing of like you're silencing art? Did you take offense to it that you're coming at the freedom of expression from Netflix? Like, what was your standpoint when it came to, how you took the criticism from Dahmer?
Right. Yeah, for me, I mean, you guys know I debate all day on Twitter because 9 times out of 10, people just tweet shit and don't do research. So then, I enjoy making people think. And, I'm teaching you a lesson. You might look foolish, but, think before you speak. That's the age-old thing. I don't know. I mean, depending on the household you grew up in, but I didn't take offense to people trying to silence. If you guys know, you've been rocking with me for a minute. This ain't the first time. They did this shit with Birth of a Nation too. Yeah. So, this ain't the first time I've had to deal with that. What I was going back and forth with was, the lady that they played, that wasn't even on the damn production, was on the COVID team, talking about this is the worst experience. That shit. And it's like, yo, you guys didn't even do your research. And I was mad at the trades because they running with it. And it's like, yo, she wasn't even on production. She was on the COVID team, which is totally separate from production. And it's like, yeah, so your experience may not be great because somebody might have an attitude with you jamming a fucking Q-tip up their nose, stabbing their brain. Yeah, most of the country had a problem with that. So it has nothing to do with the production. But that was my argument. As far as people trying to silence it, my response was to same thing to everybody. Did you watch it? If you didn't watch it, then you can't speak on it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you don't know. Because the biggest thing it's like what people say about the Hitchcock film. You know what I'm saying? Psycho. It's like, she got stabbed in the shower and all that gruesome. No, go watch the film. You never see her get stabbed.
Mm-hmm.
You never see her get stabbed. You see the knife and then you see the blood going down the sink. Your mind fills in the rest.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing with Dahmer. It's like you don't see the worst part about what you see as far as the killing is when he gets killed, which is the irony, that's exactly what they wanted to do. It was like they wanted the worst of it to be, this is what happens. Karma bust, don't miss no stops. If you're going to see anybody get hurt, we're going to show him getting hurt. We're not going to show, the victims getting hurt. And that was my thing. Everyone swore up and down, it's bloody and it's nasty and it's gruesome, blah, blah. You didn't watch it. That right there lets me know you didn't watch it. And then the motherfucker calling it a movie. Oh man, don't watch the Dahmer movie. It's not a movie. If you watched it, you would know it's not a movie. It's a series. But that's partially on us too, because you know how black folk do. We don't never say no shit, right? Somebody said that. I saw a meme the other day. I think Bobby put that shit up. It might have been Bobby put that shit up about Child's Play. I don't know if you put that up or whatever, but I put it on there where people was like, the movie Child's Play, black people, Chucky. You know what I'm saying? Like we do that shit all the time. We do that shit all the time. Hey, man, y'all that Dahmer movie? It's a series, man. Hey, man, y'all go watch Jeffrey Dahmer? It's called Dahmer Monster, but yeah, I mean, as long as y'all watching, I don't give a damn. So yeah, man, it was mostly just people, and that's the thing on Twitter, man. People love to come at people, which now I'm interested to see what's gonna happen. With Elon taking over, I'm interested to see how shit gonna play because it's about to get Wild West again on there. So
I saw some N-words flying heavy.
We'll see what happens, but
hard ER.
Yeah.
Say what?
On Twitter, like as soon as they saw that Elon bought Twitter officially, a lot of accounts just started like just typing nigger, just hard ER, no reason. It was like I just want to say something, nigger. All right, I'm out of here.
Right. And I'm like, I don't know why that is, but that's always a thing, man. That's really at the end of the day, we gonna have to deal with that shit, man, ultimately. And I think that's, for me, to finalize the question, it wasn't so much that I was a part of it. Even if I wasn't on the show, real shit, I would have rocked with it because I like the fact that they didn't make the victims, victims just because. It was like these were people and they just happened, to get caught up in the wrong situation, which happens all the time, man. That shit happens all the time, man, where I don't care if somebody getting robbed, shot, beat, raped, kidnapped, whatever, like the sex trafficking thing is they're human beings. They just happen to be, they slip up or they get caught in the wrong place. In most cases, some people, you might put yourself in a situation where you're going to get, some shit happening to you and you just being carefree. But then some of these people, like you at a club having a good time, man, and somebody slips some shit in your drink, that could easily happen to anybody. You know what I mean? So, so it's like, I like the fact that they told it from that standpoint and it wasn't just, the focus wasn't on Dahmer. Yeah, it was his story, but I like how you saw different point of views. You saw how his family interacted with him. You saw how students interacted with him. You saw how the public interacted with him. You saw how shit was when he was in the military. You know what I mean? Like it was just the different aspects, man. So, that was my thing, was just stop shit talking the art if you haven't looked at it. Now, if you watched it and you didn't get down on it, because I had people hit me up with that too, and I was totally respectful of it. It's like, yo, man, I tried to watch it and I couldn't get down with it. All right, cool. They were like, yo, I'm gonna fast forward to your part, which is always appreciated, but right. I respect that more.
Skip everything.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, of course. You know what I mean? Go see my shit. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, yeah, if you tried, all right, cool, man. It's just like, everything I do is not for everybody. Just like, every game or every song or whatever. Shit, we had that shit on social media all the time, man. Y'all my homies, man, and we disagree on shit all the time as far as art or whatever, but it doesn't make anybody, you know what I'm saying? It's not an attack, like, oh, this motherfucker's stupid because, well, no, it's like, yo, you don't get down on it or whatever. But sometimes Bobby be saying some regular shit. Like that shit, I don't know if I can still forgive you for that, man. I don't know about that.
What'd I do?
I don't know about that one.
I ain't saying nothing crazy yet.
Yet. This nigga. Now, what was your interaction with Evan like? Because I just saw like a news clipping today that came out that said that he was in character for like months on end. So what was that interaction like, I guess, while the cameras were rolling and I guess when they yell cut?
Man, all right, so Evan, I'll say this, and to play somebody like that, you do have to be in that space. And let me, because I've done this 100 times, but I'm doing it on your platform too. What Jared Leto does, what fucking, Daniel Day-Lewis does, some of these, Jeremy Strong, method acting, that's not method acting. If you actually talk to actors who study that system, no, that's just cast being extreme. Method acting, there is a version of that where, yes, you stay in it because it's hard to come out of, but you're not going to, like Evan was running around, hey guys, let me put something in your drink. I just want to take some pictures. He wasn't doing that shit to everybody on set when the camera call cut. You know what I'm saying? Like, no. When the camera cut, Evan was still in that essence, but it was Evan. It was, if you said something to him, he was listening. But then there's also a respect thing. You know what I mean? It's no different than an athlete. You know what I mean? Like, for example, if Bron is playing and the team is down, like, you notice when he get in the zone, like, he go to the bench, he don't fucking talk to nobody. He's in the zone. He's trying to go out there and win the game. It's the same thing with actors when they play certain characters. Like, when you see them in the zone, you don't talk to them. You don't bother them. Let them do their shit, because you're stifling their ability to tell the story and to do the art. So it's like, all right, cool. You got to give them that respect. So for me, I recognized that immediately when I first met him on set in the hair and makeup trailer. And I was like, I went and introduced myself. He was like, hey man, it's good to have you on. Thanks so much. All right, cool. And then I left him the fuck alone. You know what I mean? I didn't bother him anything. And on top of that, while we were filming this, because this was filming during COVID, I don't know if you guys were aware, but we found out that he got the Emmy nom, and Golden Globe nom for his work on not Mayor of Easton. I think it's Mayor of Easton. The shit with Kate Winslet that he won the awards for that year. We were filming while we found out he was nominated for that. So that was people, who were day playing coming up. Congratulations, and this dude's trying to focus on, I don't want to hear nothing about no awards. I'm working right now. When work is over, then we could talk about that shit. So, there was also that going on, man. So he was really in the zone. But I will say, when we wrapped, because I'm in the finale, and I was there for a minute, because I'm throughout the finale. So from the time I met him in the hair and makeup trailer, when we wrapped, because I wrapped on the last day, everybody wrapped up same time on the last day. We was walking back to the trailer, and mine was like the next one over from his. And I, gave him his props. I was like, yo, man, you killed it. People, as usual, yada, yada, et cetera, exchanging those pleasantries. And that was the first time you could see this weight kind of like, I'm done for the most part. I'm done with this. Yeah, I'm sure he had to do like pickups and all that, but, he let it chill and he was like, yeah, man, and it's funny that I see these articles now where Evan's talking about, I want to be a good guy. Like he said that same shit I said. He was like, man, I want to be able to laugh on my next role. He was like, it's just been nonstop, back, crazy guy,
back, just
crazy guy. Back. He's like, I need to laugh. Right. He's like, I need to laugh, man. So, it was, from my experience and my time with him, I'm talking about outside of working, like in work, obviously we're both focused, but outside of working, dude was cool, man. Super chill, wasn't no ego shit. Especially when you get nominated for like an Emmy or a Golden Globe, like you walk around talking your shit, because that's a big deal as far as television. But he was chill, man. No issues with him. But it's also one of those things too where that's the thing about actors is unless you spend a lot of time with them, you can't really gauge if somebody is great or strange or whatever. That's why I tell people my interactions may be different. Different than your interactions, but as far as he goes, I'd work with him again. Like I didn't have a bad experience. I'd be happy to work with him again because he's one of those actors that likes to stay and work. I've worked with some actors where when it's on your coverage, it's my time to shoot my shit. the lead actor's like, fuck that, here's my stand-in, and they'll go back to your trailer because they're lazy as shit or they're celebrities. He was like, nah, they were trying to bring stand-ins in. Everyone was like, nah, man, like, this is me and Chris. Like, we're going to sit here and work this out. Like, we don't need to stand-ins. We appreciate you, but we don't need you. So I always going to want to work with and have respect for any actors that do that shit, because that's how I like to roll. I don't, you know, I'm there you paying me to be there. I'm not going to sit in my damn trailer. I'm going to work.
Okay. Now, do you think you'll be a part of any other thing that may be that controversial? Like, would you take on another role, be it major or minor, in another thing that has to deal with, like, you know, people that have to deal with the suffering and the reminders of what happened to their loved ones? Do you think that you'll take on a role knowing
100%.
that? I like that fucking. I wish I had a bomb to drop.
Well, the crazy thing is that you don't know something's controversial until, like, you don't know something controversial until it's controversial. That's the thing, because it's tricky today.
I mean, this foresight, you can, like, you know, you can guess that, oh, this is a touchy subject, or this might ruffle some feathers, or, like, you know, like the living of the people that have to deal with this might feel some type of way. You got to take them into consideration. Even though you're doing your job, you collecting your check, this is just a dramatization, a reenactment, whatever the case may be. It's just like there's a human aspect in this as well.
Right. I mean, like I said, I'm gonna just keep it straight with you, man. Serious talk. I would 100% do anything. There's two stories in particular. If they came out with a Trayvon Martin or a George Floyd story, 100% be a part of those, because I feel like those stories shaped the country in a way just like Martin Luther King's story did, or Malcolm X. And not saying that those two individuals were, they're just as powerful. It wasn't about that. It's their stories just as powerful, because you got to look at, you know, with Trayvon, that shit was like really kind of the essence. You know what I mean? Like, all that shit was going on prior to, but for some reason when he was killed, when he was murdered, it was like the whole country was like, all right, yo, man, this is a problem. We got to pay attention to this, because some goddamn rules. This is crazy. And then with George Floyd, you didn't watch a man get killed. You watched a man be executed. Like, you watched him be executed in front of everybody. It's different. And not saying it's any better or worse. Understand what I'm saying? Somebody getting shot by the police is one thing, and it's sad that we're kind of numb to that. This dude got snuffed out for 8 minutes and change, like, while, you know, Chauvin was on his fucking neck, like, taking pleasure in that shit. Like you saw, like, the life leave his body. Like, you saw his eyes
that's what I'm
saying.
Dark. Like, it was.
That's a problem. You know what I mean? Like, I would definitely be proud to be part of those stories. But then there's other stories that I want to do that I wouldn't call them controversial, not in that same vein, but they're also going to rub people the wrong way. Like, straight up, you guys have been seeing this on Twitter. I've been pining for this for a long time. I want to do that Tiger Woods movie. I want to do that shit right where, and I want to start it right where he's on top of the world. And I want that shit with him and his wife, Elin, and this motherfucker went through this whole fuck up and then try to do his comeback story. Like, I would love
to fucking
play Tiger.
Tell the truth.
Listen, I mean, you know, apparently according to Lala, that shit's, you know, she had to describe that shit and tell everybody it's not real, but, you know, it depends on what it is, I guess. But yeah, man, I mean, it's you know, you're always, as an artist, I look for that shit. Like, the to be honest with you, that whole trying to be fucking famous, you know, I think as I've gotten older, I've been okay with not doing that for two main reasons. One, when you're black and famous in this industry, the pressure is 100-fold. And you guys know this just on the simple strength of the podcast. Look at the play and luxury that white people have talking about, you know, pop culture, comics, movies, songs, all that. Listen to those podcasts and see how, you know, the luxuries they get and shit. You guys can't talk about that same exact stuff in your way, like you want. Like, you guys do it in your way that you want to, and I respect that. I love that. But you also know, you know, if you were given, like,
can't cross.
It's a certain line, right? It's a certain line y'all can't cross. They can do it, you guys can't do it. You know what I mean? Because we gotta tread, you know, lightly. And it's the same thing when you're an actor. It's like you can say certain things and do certain things, but in your box. That's the first reason. The second reason, and again, if you don't think that you can be touched again, look at what the fuck is going on now. Will Smith had a 30-year clean career. Like, when I say clean, you never heard shit bad other than his marriage. Okay, that shall be in his business. He got a fucked up marriage with him and Jada. All right, cool. But you never heard about this dude running people over with cars and shit and doing all this other crazy shit white people was doing. His white counterparts are doing. This motherfucker slaps another dude on stage, and his whole career took a left. You know,
I feel like they
and this is Will
reacted to him
Smith.
how they should have reacted to Alec Baldwin.
You see what I'm saying? Alec Baldwin
when he shot that lady,
somebody on set.
He shot that lady.
He shot and killed that lady.
Yeah, mistake, but somebody dead.
That's
though.
little.
Chris Rock got hit.
No.
Nah.
Fuck that. Ain't no mistakes. There's no mistakes with that. Let me tell y'all something. As somebody who's worked on multiple productions with gunfire, and you guys have seen me fire guns on camera, there was no mistake with that shit.
Was it Alec Baldwin?
They shortcut the fuck out of that.
Yeah,
they shortcut the fuck out of that. That gun exchanged 2, maybe 3 hands before it got to him. That is not how the process works on any set. It's at least a dozen people that got to check that shit and look at it before it even gets to the actor. And even then, the actor is supposed to check it and go. And he openly admitted that he didn't check it because, the armory and props checked it, so I didn't have to. No, motherfucker. Every set I've ever been on, everybody, stunts, armory, props, even the director was like, did you check it? Check that shit before we start rolling. Even though I just watched the dude check it in front of me. Everybody, because of that whole shit that happened with Brandon Lee on The Crow, it's like that became policy. In the 90s, it was like, no, I don't give a damn if you just saw me do it and close it. Double check me. I may have missed something. So everybody's supposed to check it. So there wasn't no accident with that shit. That was the motherfuckers being lazy and trying to avoid budget facts. So, but again, he got less scrutiny than Will Smith smacking the shit out of Chris Rock on camera. And it was like, really? Did he kill that man? He didn't even hurt that man. He hurt his pride, but he didn't knock Chris out.
I think the thing.
You know what I'm saying?
I think the thing with Alec Baldwin was a little polarizing because there were people who were coming at them for like strange reasons because like he was doing the Trump thing. So it was like people who supported Trump that was coming after him saying, you killed him on purpose. It was like, so it's kind of polarizing. It was like half and half.
Yeah. Plus that information, I don't think that you just presented is not, I don't think, readily available for everyone. So not everyone knows that, okay, I guess
that's not common knowledge for everybody.
Yeah, everyone's, you're supposed to check it a million different times. No one knows that. So I think in most people's minds, mine included, was like, okay, there's a person who handles the firearms, then they hand it to you, and then you're an actor, you do your job. So as an actor, it's like, he just did it, got the prop, used the prop. Prop unfortunately had a live round in it, shot 2 people because 2 people got shot, but 1 died.
Right.
So then, like, it's hard to put all the onus on Alec for that because it's like, in most people's minds, it's just like he was just showed up to work and used the tool that they gave him, and unfortunately, the tool that he gave him hurt someone.
Right, but you also have to take, and again, this is not ready information for you guys as far as the process, but you also have to take into consideration too that Alec Baldwin was an EP on that. He was a producer, executive producer on that project. So you, as an executive producer, you're signing people's checks, but you are either, if you're on the creative end, as an executive producer, you're in charge of story and all that, which is probably where he was. Yeah. But you also do work in conjunction with the Moneyman executive producers who are in charge of the hiring and the getting the people on. And you guys knew that the chick that was quote unquote over the props and armory wasn't an actual armorer. She was a props person. Her pops. And this is you can Google this and find this because this is all information they found during the trial. Her pops was the actual armorer who wasn't on set. So on the strength of, your daddy is, so they thought she was. And it was like, nah, those are two, armorers and props are two totally different things. Armorers are exactly what it sounds. Armorers deal with live weapons, anything, blades, guns, sticks, anything that's an actual considered a weapon. Yep. Armory looks at that and makes sure it's safe. Props,
fake gun,
they come in and handle those sort of things, but that's not their job. Props are literally cups, plates, all that other stuff. Fake guns, all that other stuff. So they're 2 different people. They work together, but they're 2 different people. So technically that wasn't her job to make sure the weapon was safe. Her job was just to make sure that it looked the way it was supposed to look. It was the exact type of gun that his character would have, and that she took it from him afterwards.
Okay, I'm glad I know that.
So it's a process. And again, listen, I feel bad for him in the sense of he's got to live with that the rest of his life, that he killed somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if it wasn't intentional, obviously, I'm pretty sure he's probably losing some sleep over that shit. And if he's a human being, he's losing sleep over that shit. You know what I mean? You know, but
he seemed,
I don't know the way he was posted on Instagram. It don't seem like
that
he
post
was,
on Instagram was kind of
okay
tone deaf.
Yeah, this is like,
1 year ago today wasn't no
exactly.
It wasn't no
condolences,
like my apologies, unfortunately, or he didn't. It was like
it was just
seemed
1
like
year
there's no
ago
regret
today.
in it. But I don't know how he feels personally in his actual mind. But the way that came off was not.
Yeah, it just might be how he deals with it. Or you could just say nothing.
I mean, that would have been the best.
Nothing. That's the point. Don't say shit. You don't have to remind people that you shot somebody.
Yeah, because I wouldn't know.
Everybody knows it's going to be there.
To me neither.
I wouldn't have known if you didn't post it.
Right. 100%. Most people probably want to know, and I'm sure the family doesn't want to be reminded. They know, and I'm sure they don't want to be reminded. And that's the type of shit that where, you know, I think, you know, social media, and this goes back to what you were saying about, you know, knowing if the show was going to be that big, if Dom was going to be that big. Social media is a big impact. It's a bigger impact on the world than people think. Statistically, it's out there and it's already been proven. Statistically, more people have access to social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, have more access to that than they have to basic cable, like the basic channels. Like some people don't even have TVs in their house because they have their phone. And it's like, I got access to everything right there. I don't need a TV. You know what I'm saying? They got a computer, a laptop, and this. Most cats, you know, don't have that. And it's because I can get all access to everything at the palm of my hand, even if the information isn't, you know, accurate, you know. And that's why, you know, social media, I think, is probably as brash as it is, I think social media is probably the most accurate form of global news that we can get before like a CNN and MSNBC because it's unedited. So cats will film something and throw that shit right online. It's like, okay, you have it right there. You can judge because, you know, when the media get it, they're going to chop that shit up and, you know, try to spin it to whatever. So I think everybody just kind of gravitate towards social media. But again, it's like the GOAT said, man, like Denzel said, if you watch the news, you're misinformed. If you don't watch the news, you're uninformed. So you got to pick the lesser of two evils. You know what I mean?
Now, Chris, I have one more question before I let you go, considering Alec Baldwin, right? So when he shot that gun, right, somebody yelled action. So is there a chance that there's footage of that out there? Or was that like a test run or something? Like there has to be footage, right?
No. Apparently, from what they were saying, this wasn't a rehearsal. Apparently, she was, I mean, because her and the director were behind the camera. He was shooting at the camera. So, because they were trying to get that, I guess, POV shot. Yeah. As far as the reports. So, they were behind the camera. So, I'm pretty sure there's footage of him shooting. But I don't know if there's footage of her getting shot. And honestly, I don't want to know. I don't want to see that shit just because, you know, working on set, that's just, you never want to see that happen. Yeah. But usually, typically, they don't rehearse with firing, like as far as the setup, firing blanks. Like you'll rehearse outside of set. This, you know, stunts will take you over somewhere. They'll fire off in the woods or something, and you know you'll practice that way, or they'll give you like airsoft or whatever. From my experience, they'll give you all that. But if you in front of the camera, like how they described he was, and you know they're calling action, and you got the hot, what they call a hot weapon on set, which is basically it's ready to be fired. If that's the case, then they're going to roll footage on that because you don't, especially with lower end production, you don't have a lot of squibs, or you don't have a lot of, you know, blanks, and you don't have a lot of, you know, explosions or doing what, you don't have a lot of that because that shit is expensive. You don't realize how expensive that is. So typically they're gonna just call action and run through that shit once, maybe twice, you know, and then move on. So there probably would be footage. If there is, I bet money you're not gonna see it until at least another, you know, 5 years or so. It'll then get leaked out. You know, it'll be on the level of as far as not releasing the footage, it'll be on a level of something like a 9/11. Like if you look at now, it's been so many years. You can go on YouTube and see the planes hitting the buildings and all that. When, you know, the first, you know, 7-8 years, you couldn't find none of that. You know what I mean? If you try the dark web to look at that shit, because people didn't want to see that. They weren't desensitized to it. So in this situation, I think it'll be a couple of years before on footage. They're finally releasing the footage of what happened, and yada yada yada. And then plus, you know, with legalities and whatnot, you know, they're not gonna release that shit till, you know, till later in the event that somebody wants to, maybe Alec knew, or there's a new court case, or whatever the case may be, man. So it's an unfortunate situation all around, but it definitely changed the scope of how things are filmed. A lot of productions now, rely heavily on CG.
Mm-hmm.
They won't even let you bring blanks on set now because of that. So it's like, post-production work all day on that, which depending on the film or show, I get. Like if you're a cop show, yeah, you could probably The Rookie is doing that on ABC. I'm like, you can get away with CG with that because it's not like they have like major shootouts on that show. But if you're doing a John Wick film, I don't think that's gonna work because it's going to be too damn expensive.
He's like,
right,
dead.
Right, it's gonna be way too expensive.
Yeah,
right.
But also on a John Wick film, they're probably gonna have people on that set that know better. You know what I'm saying? Like they're probably the routine of checking those weapons and going through that shit, and then knowing how people say Keanu Reeves is with how particular he is with stunts and all that. Yeah, you're gonna have people checking them things all day, every day. So it's a different budget, different mentality.
Right. All right. Well, Chris, star of Dahmer Monster, the second most viewed English show on Netflix ever.
For now.
Forever.
That's going to be number one.
Until he's number one. I don't know what's above you, but fuck them. I'm proud of you, brother. Like I'm really proud of you in what you've been doing lately, man. Whether it be major or minor, whatever the fuck. I just enjoy seeing you on camera saying I know him.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. And kudos to you guys too, man. Seriously, it's
we ain't on Netflix.
It's no bullshit, man. Like you guys, yeah, but shit, hey, man. Listen, let me tell you something. The people at least that I turn you guys on to, they constantly see me tweeting. They're like, yo, who these cats? I'm like, go listen to their podcast. And the fact that you guys are still doing that shit, I know a lot of people that started podcasts and fell off. The fact that y'all are still doing it, man, and you got that loyal fan base. Yeah, and see, that's the thing. Just like you're saying about Brad Simeon, it's like, yo, when you get into something like this, man, it's a passion. You gotta love it, man. Because actors, again, like I said, you could get into this shit, rich and famous, and I'm gonna be, man. And there's so many famous actors right now who are not as paid as people think because they trying to pay their bills or whatever. Yeah, you got your upper echelon, but that's like any business. The one percenters. Yeah. If I went right now and I had the three of y'all and I was like, give me 20 actors right now that are in the $20 million club, you couldn't. And there's more than 20, but you couldn't rattle off more than 20 actors right now that are like popping like that as far as the super rich elite. Like they could never work again and be okay because it's so many people, but we only know about the 5%. Like y'all could give me the usual suspects, but you couldn't give me 20. It would take you a minute without Google. It'll take you a minute. You have to sit there and rack your brain or just hop on Google. It's the same thing with these podcasts. Like somebody say podcasts, of course they're gonna say Joe Rogan or Ryan Seacrest, but you're naming the upper echelon. There's so many of you guys that are doing it out of passion and still. Probably who don't. What I mean?
That's a good point. Who don't?
You know what I'm saying? Who, it's just the normal, the usual suspects. You know what I mean? So it's like the fact that y'all are in there and gonna have the longevity, and you don't have the access that a Joe Rogan has. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as finances and sponsors and all that, you don't have that access. But when you do, because you're in a niche that very few people can fuck with, and then people just vibe with y'all as a whole. So that's why I'm equally as proud of you guys. It's like, yeah, I did the Netflix thing or whatever, that's cool, but for me I'm trying to get into a space where I can put myself in a position to enjoy the things that I like I always respect. Everybody talks about Scorsese and fucking Tyler Perry and all that, and I name these people because they they created such work for all these people. I'm like, yeah, but I fucks with the Spikes and the Adam Sandlers and the Robert Rodriguez's that constantly work with their true friends and their homies, and they stuff is still good. Like I want to get, that's where I'm on right now. It's literally like, I fuck around and get a movie popping, and literally, even if it doesn't make any fucking sense, hey man, there's a scene where we got to go to a convention and I want these 3 dudes right here. These my ninjas. I want them like just talking about podcast shit for like 3-4 minutes in a movie. You know what I mean? Like it to me is because people respond to that, man. Every movie that you watch and people really rock with, you know, it's like you could tell when everybody has chemistry on there or people rock with each other versus this shit is just acting. And it's like, yeah, you know, we want that nice big check, but at the end of the day, man, it's to me, I want to be able to go to work and enjoy myself and not have to worry about the fucking stresses and all this shit. Like, you know, prime example, I mean, I keep hearing these mixed reviews about it, but ultimately at the end of the day, for the most part, from what I'm hearing from people, is Black Adam is not, it's not popping like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just not. I haven't seen it, so I can't really speak on it. Like I've just
you.
But y'all laugh. But here's the thing. Here's the interesting part that I brought up to somebody, and I'll leave it at that. Here's the interesting part. Right. But here's the interesting part about that. Nobody can deny this. The Rock is a global superstar. Global. You can't go nowhere in the world and people not know who The Rock is. And if you didn't break records your first weekend with him as the lead, there's a problem.
With no competition.
And you had no competition, right? It's not like not like they released the next week with Wakanda, forever. It's not like that's coming out.
There's nothing else.
You had nobody for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
That's to me, that's bugged. I'm like, yo, that's crazy because if The Rock is at the helm of this, I'm like, you know, when this was ready to come out, I'm like, yo, this is gonna break all social records because The Rock is Black Adam. And when that opening weekend came out, and I was on Twitter looking at people, and it was like, even the non-comic book fans, not the diehard comic book, like even the non, they was like, what did I just watch? I was like, oh boy.
It was Michael Bay times 100. No, but action.
That's what I'm saying. Like
less dialogue, more action.
Wow,
I don't. It was.
That's.
I don't think it's horrible,
crazy,
but
man.
it's not that good either. It's like it's a aggressively okay movie. It's like it's like right in the middle. Like it's not
more in the middle. Okay. It was a 5.5, 6.1.
Yeah, it's like a 6.5, maybe 7 if you're feeling.
Damn, that's the one. See, now I actually want to watch it just to see.
Yeah.
Like
Chris, don't.
You know when somebody says something is bad, you want to watch it to see how bad
it really is.
Yeah.
Like, but Chris, like as an actor, like you're gonna analyze it different because you actually act and you be on sets and you be in movies. Like let us let us normies appreciate the shit. Just don't do it to yourself. It's no continuity. It just doesn't follow a timeline. It has nothing to do with the other movie. Just let it go. Enjoy your fucking day. Do something else. Take your daughter to Epcot. Do something else, dog.
I'm telling you. Just wait till it comes to HBO Max or something.
Wait till it comes to HBO Max, and then you'll pause it like 8 times while you go to the kitchen and make some dumb shit.
You might even like it better that way.
You might even like it better. You might be off an edible or some shit. Like, hey,
this movie's amazing. They were
I'm saying, like, you know, but it's a superhero movie, man. Like, you gotta watch that shit on the big screen. You know what I'm saying? You gotta watch that shit. Like, you know, but also, I'm also not.
Chris, you can watch this on your phone, dog. It won't make a difference.
Listen, let me tell you something. I picked a good time, though. I can actually go watch it. Like, my plan was to watch it this week coming up because I'm like, I can go watch that shit, have a week to process how bad it is, and then be hype as fuck because Wakanda's coming out.
True.
So I'm good. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to go that opening weekend. And then, I forgot, you know, I think you guys, I think 3 Ninjas, like y'all tweeted it, or one of you guys again tweeted this shit. When they ruined the fucking spoiler, I was like, this is why you fucked up. Why you said Superman shows up? I don't understand why you even said that shit while the movie, and it was like the trades was saying that shit. Yeah. Normally the trades will wait till the following weekend. They got the permission from Warner Brothers to be like, oh, Superman. I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm not gonna go watch this shit.
Trying to goose those numbers.
Like that was dumb. That was your ace in the hole. Was your ace in the hole, and you ruined it.
Yep.
Terrible, man. But I digress, man. That's all right. You know, I'm gonna be getting some feedback from you guys in 2 weeks with this.
Oh yeah,
kind of shit. Because I know a couple of actors it's stunt people who are in it, and the feedback I'm getting from the premiere, like the screening they had, was motherfuckers is coming out there crying. So I'm like, god damn.
Crying,
you know what I mean?
Like,
so
it was just sad
granted, you know,
I'm
a
tribute to Chadwick, or crying because it was just that bad that, you know, we don't deserve
a
sequel.
To Chadwick.
Like both. No. Like
both.
Like it was that powerful.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
okay.
people were saying like the shit was just good, man. Like overall, like all actors did their thing. Like the shit was just good. You know, I mean, nobody gave it a perfect rating. Obviously, there's some hiccups, but you know, Ryan Coogler. I mean, honestly, you got to think about it as far as stuff that he's directed, not stuff he's produced, stuff he's directed. Ryan Coogler hasn't missed, man. If you look at all the films he's directed, all them shit's been solid, man. So, you know, I'd be shocked if this one was off. And yeah, you know, you're gonna be a little bit, you know, obviously sad regardless, especially in my instance. It's like, nah, we wasn't boys or nothing, but, you know, the time I did get to spend, you know, with Chadwick was, you know, I tell people all the time, was powerful, man. I mean, you know, that 30 minutes was probably like, it was almost like I knew this brother for a couple of years, man. And it wasn't no Hollywood bullshit. It was like, you know, just two brothers just kicking it, man, and talking, and dude was just that dude. Like all the shit you hear about him, man, as far as like his presence and all that, even while he was sick. Because again, you know, you guys, now that you're in retrospect, if you go look at the picture of me, him, and my homeboy Roy, like you could look at the picture now and see, like, yeah, you know, now it makes sense.
Yeah,
you know, but even while he was sick, like you would have never known. You would have never known. Never known. So you know, it's gonna be a little, you know, crazy to see, you know, any images of him that they're gonna pop up, or if they do any type of tribute to him, which I think somebody says there is one in the film. But yeah, man, you know, I think it's gonna be solid. I mean, people are just saying it's just a powerful joint. So, you know, we'll see what's up, man. I mean, you know, maybe they make a Black Panther 3 and motherfuckers light skin like me. So I'm about to get in the gym now.
Black Panther.
She'll be Trevor Noah. But yo, Chris, yo, we proud of you, man. We love you, man. We hope to see you in more stuff as a surprise, because you don't never tell us shit beforehand. We just gotta see, like, oh shit, Chris in this shit. So, you know, hopefully,
you know, that's the best way.
I know, right? So, you know, hopefully, you know, we see you in some more shit. I know you got some more shit on the docket, some more shit coming up that we're gonna be surprised with. So, you know, we'll talk to you then when we see you pop in like fucking Black Panther 3, or like when you pop up in fucking Ghostbusters 2 or some whatever the fuck. We'll see you. We'll talk to you then, man.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, man. And you know, you guys keep doing your thing, and I gotta make another stop in to the dojo, man. But you know, it's wintertime, you know, I don't fuck with, I don't go back home toward the winter, man. Nah, I'll let y'all have that. Y'all got that one surprise out of me, and I got sick as fuck.
Yeah, I think you gave me COVID, nigga.
I had it. Yeah, I got that shit. I didn't even know it was COVID. I got that shit. So my bad, man. I ain't even. So I was like, damn, that's when I had COVID. Yeah, man. So I won't be doing that shit again. My bad. Hey, you survived, motherfucker.
Hey, barely, nigga. Barely.
He's like, did you die, nigga?
But did you die?
Hey, don't nobody die until Don say something about that shit.
That's a fact.
That's no Don come out. That's when you good.
Never speaking ill of Bobby's name or Hesh's name.
There you go. You know what I mean?
Man, so hopefully we'll see you in some soon, and hopefully we see you soon, and you know, we'll talk to you then, man.
Absolutely. Hey, man, I appreciate y'all, brothers.
Appreciate you, man. Have a good one.
All right, man.
All right, peace.
Peace.